Hi, a very good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back again to Sembang with 10x. We are at episode 9. I'm your host for today. I'm Nishan and I have Naveen. Yes, we are missing one person.
Hello.
The one person had to get some things done. Will be joining us shortly. That's Adam. So, how are you
Yeah.
guys doing today? Hope you guys are doing well. Cases again is on the highest record today. So, hopefully, those who are impacted hopefully they recover soon, and please stay safe and stay at home. Don't roam around. All right, and I guess the vaccination drive is on the roll now, and soon more and more of us will be getting vaccinated. And let's fight this together. All right. So, Naveen, how are you doing? How's things on your end?
Okay lah. A bit tiring. I was hoping that the COVID cases will go down, but it looks like it's just going on the rise. But I believe it's fine since the cases are high. Also, at least a number of us are getting vaccinated. So I will suggest everyone not to get panic. Just stay safe, keep yourself safe, and yeah, take extra measures in order for you all to sanitize yourself, don't go out, try to order food, or just cook something at home lah. Basically, for the first
Yep,
for a while.
we
Yeah.
just ordered Grab for dinner, so all cool with that. Right. So, to those of y'all wondering, why did I ask Naveen, is he just lives next door, literally like next door to me. So, uh,
Hey, don't give out that secret lah. Everyone was thinking that we're in different places, right?
yeah, it seems like we're in different locations. But anyways, thank you guys for joining in once again today with Sembang with 10x. We are at ninth week, episode 9. And we are talking about today is nail the interview. So before we get into our topic, is one just message. Part one. Adam will join us shortly. He's got some things to be completed, so he'll finish that and then he'll join us. Thank you for asking, is one. Hopefully you're okay, all good. All right. So during this whole pandemic period, right? Even our topics over the last 9 weeks, somehow or the other, is surrounding the topic of pandemic. Now, in relation to the pandemic, the number of people that have lost their jobs is skyrocket, and a lot of them are scrambling through trying to find an opportunity, whether be it part time, full time contract, even sometimes completely out of their job scope. So we decided that, what, maybe we want to share on how do you land yourself a job, with the experience that you have, or with the skill sets that you have. How can you exactly apply for a job? So, I mean, how hard is it, do you think, is applying for a job is?
Um, it's quite tough if you take a look. For those people who have done their masters or PhDs, or those who don't have a degree program, who got, like, how to say, retrenched during the COVID period. So sometimes it's very difficult for them to find a job in the sector that they're comfortable or they want to grow in. So what they do, they tend to jump now to whichever career pathway is available just for the time being. And some of them who are fresh grads are feeling like this is not what I want. This is not my career pathway. But hey, the whole world is actually currently going through a turmoil. Um, it's just about time that we'll get back to normal. But till then, let's just try to keep ourselves to have some money and to survive, and also our family members. So, and for them to apply for the job. And getting back to your question, applying for a job now, it's a little bit difficult because since now a lot of them don't have a job, and companies are being very picky with what they choose. So they want, even for a new entry role, they want someone at least to have at least 2 years experience in the current running industry. But that's pretty hard. So it's very hard out there to get a job. But for those who actually got a job, and for those who did not get retrenched, and the companies are supporting your Good job. Keep up, and wish you all the best. And just help those who are in need that actually need, for a job or whatsoever. You can recommend them.
Right. Fantastic. Yeah. So I think the last part that you said, right? Those who probably would have landed a job in a job right now, probably a large MNC or corporate or whatever not. Uh, so I believe that your company or your organization would have this so-called referral programs, right? uh, yeah, the initial screening when you apply directly onto a company's website or through any of the job portals, the screening process is very, very tedious. There's a lot. If you have referral links, go ahead and blast it out to your friends and family. Put it up on social media. Of course, you have to comply with your companies. That's one of the
Mhm.
fastest way that you could reach out, right? So having said that, before we start, how you attend an interview, how you apply a job and stuff like that, me and the team have sort of put together a couple of websites
Yeah.
that may be helpful. I will also give like a review rating based on our experiences. And again, we are not promoting any one of them or putting any one of them down. It's just from user-based experience that we have gathered, right? Most of y'all would have come across, let me share this.
Mhm. Just let you know, no paid ad or whatsoever. Okay, we're just
Yeah,
sharing what
nothing,
we have gone through,
no
and
paid ads or whatsoever, right?
there
So,
are very few that is quite good, and there are some which is large but yet very slow. So Nishan will share with you all the most, the easy ones to create and the fastest
yeah,
one to actually get a response from the company owners. Yeah.
cool. So, one of the first ones that is always very popular among a lot of Malaysians is JobStreet. I like the way it's been a while, close about 2 years plus since I've actually looked into how JobStreet look like. They have changed the interface. The app is pretty interesting. Uh, and from what I've gathered, they have made it look very easy to the eyes, the way that you want to apply and stuff like that. But from what I heard, the response feedback is pretty slow, right? So I would probably recommend y'all to use JobStreet as your, like, an option, not as your priority, right? And there are other sites that I would be personally sharing with you guys to explore. Right, you guys can go ahead and try it out later. JobStreet, I'm sure you guys have the app. You guys have gone through them. You guys are aware of it, so I'm not going to go much on JobStreet. So the other one that caught my attention recently was a company called Hyattly. Prior to this, they were known as WOB, and then they switched over to Hyattly. Amazing! I really love the way that they have come across. They updated themselves. It's pretty straightforward. It's easy to search, and this is the coolest part. Their response time is within 24 to 48 hours. And look who we have here. Hello, Adam.
Hey, 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 hey.
Hey,
Yeah,
Sorry,
he
I'm
just
late.
barged in. Hey, no problem, no
late for
problem.
interview lah. Late for interview.
Yeah, I never be late for an interview. I
Yeah.
was just,
Point.
I was just showing, by experience. No, don't do that. Because when you're late, then you have to catch up, and playing catch up is never fun.
Correct. You're put into a situation where you get nervous and you just start blabbering stuff.
Yeah,
Yeah.
true.
Right. So Adam, I was just sharing with friends and family here about the before the whole interview thing starts. There's actually a pre-work that you need to do, right? Like, preparing a resume, applying a job, which portal you go and apply a job, and how do you look out for a few things. So we shared with them on JobStreet, and now we are sharing with them on Hiredly, previously known as WOP, right? So something very interesting about this website is their app. You should probably check it out if you are looking out for a job. Download the app. uh, those of y'all who have been on social dating websites, it's more called something called a Tinder. So it's like you match your job skills with the employer. So you swipe left if you don't like, you swipe right if you find it very close by to you. And the coolest part is that they send you a notification, and within 24 to 48 hours is like a chat bot. uh, the companies would already preliminary set few questions for you, and you just answer them. And within another 48 hours, you should be able to get back a response from the from the employer. So it's pretty interesting. Those of y'all who have never checked it out, go ahead and check out Hiredly. Their reviews are pretty interesting, and from what I have been exploring, so I'll tell you the reason why we are doing all of this exploration in terms of job, from the job sector, right? We are a startup, but we wanted to identify how we can help our audiences and our participants or our students who have been with us for the last 1 year, and how we can bridge them up. So we also do this kind of sort of giving back, helping them, where they can apply, how they can apply, how they sit for an interview, how they prepare themselves. So part of that is a research that we're doing on this. So their jobs that they post up is not very common. It's not like your typical customer service, call center, and stuff like that. They've got pretty niche requirements, and if it fits your resume, go ahead and check them out. And moving to that, our very own, this is by the government, by Perkeso. Those of y'all who have been retrenched would have been a part of the EIS program. If you're not part of the EIS program, you would have been a part of their Pekerja Raya program as well. My Future Jobs is very, very new as well. They sort of incepted in 2019, early or late 2019, and came in right at the time of the pandemic. They match you with a lot of different organizations that is registered with Perkeso. Now, Adam, you want to share a bit of experience with My Future Jobs? Have you come across them before?
Yeah, I mean, we all can be registered on My Future Job. Doesn't matter if you have lost your job or not. You still can be a part of My Future Jobs. The reason is because a lot of SMEs and also organizations who are actually who are advertising their job vacancies on My Future Job. One, it's free. Two, it's because they are signed up there because they'll be getting a levy from the government per employee. That's up to June. I think was up to June. I think it will be up to February of next year also. So there are a lot of opportunities on there as compared to the paid platforms. You will only be able to find like certain organizations or people who don't usually advertise also won't be there. Like some companies just believe on referrals and also organic reach. So those companies won't be on your job street or won't be on your Hiredly, but they will be on My Future Jobs because it's absolutely free for them to be on it. And I think it's the platform is pretty okay. It's nothing to scream about. It's all right. The notifications, the AI part, the matching part is not so great. But if you're in there, if you go into the app itself, I think there are thousands of jobs available. Right from a maid to like a caretaker, right up to even like I've seen CEO positions open on My Future Jobs. So it's not bad.
Interesting. And another interesting part about My Future Jobs is that you can also sort of like apply for trainings, which, let's say now we are looking to apply for a particular job, and in the meanwhile you want to upskill yourself and stuff like that. They also have those kind of options available. So it's sort of like all in one. But from our experience using it as a user, they can improve. There's a lot of areas that they can improve. We are not sure about their turnaround time as well, but it has been recently getting quite a number of hits, and you may want to try it out on My Future Jobs. Have a look at it. If you're looking out for a job, try applying, and you have nothing to lose at the end of the day, right? So sorry,
if you don't mind, like
yeah.
Sometimes we gotta just play things off each other. So for example, if you're on My Future Jobs and you find a job there, you can actually Google the company and then you can apply directly with the company. You don't really have to use a portal and all that stuff because the portals usually might have a turnaround time, delayed turnaround time. There may be some issues, there are teething issues or whatever not. So if you are really looking for a job and you're serious about it, you just see it. If you see it on the platform, you can, then look for the company by yourself and apply or call them. Or you can be persistent and just give them a call and say, if you're looking for this position, I have the skills that you need, blah, blah, all that stuff. So yeah, you don't really have to just sit and, if you need a job, you need to go and get it. You need to go up there, roll up your sleeves and get it. Not really just apply on the portal and wait after 1 week, you'll say like, oh, this portal never give me any response. Useless portal. For what? Why would you want to blame me on the portal? The portal serves 1 million people in a month, or maybe 2 million people in a month. But you are the one of the 2 million, or one of the 2 million. So you need to improve your odds. The only way to improve your odds is if you go and look for it yourself.
Right. Nice.
Just
So
to
that's
add
a,
another one more, just in case, like also like what I just want to add on what Adam said. He said that once you have looked for some particular company on some maybe job street or whatsoever, you can go onto the website of the company and go to My Careers. They have an option, My Careers, and you can actually take a look on what are the jobs that are available listed by the company itself. So most of the MNC companies now allows you to register and also apply for that job on their own website itself. So just do that due diligence, lah. Once you apply on my job street or my future jobs, just go onto the company website and see if they have that option. So once you can also register and apply on that as well.
right. So moving on, good pointers there. Thank you guys for sharing that. Moving on, we've got another company called Troopers. It's So these guys are something very unique. They are for mostly part-time seekers. They focus more on part-time jobs. Their app is pretty interesting, straightforward, very clean. So if you're looking for a part-time job, and either you're a student, or now the whole vaccinator program is rolled out by the government. If you're looking to either be a nurse, doctor, or just a helper, for the event, you can go onto their portal, download the app, and you can register yourself. Within 24 to 48 hours, they get back to you. So they are something pretty interesting as well. It's very new into the market, so do check them out. And lastly is, I'm not sure if most of y'all would have heard it, Glassdoor. If you're looking out for certain organizations and you want to know their review, what's their insight, I think Glassdoor is pretty interesting. You can try to look up the companies that you're applying for on Glassdoor. They give you a lot of internal insights. There is a paid version for this. The free version serves the purpose, but if you want to know in depth in terms of the culture of the company, the feedback, among the departments, managers, and stuff like that, then you can subscribe to the paid version, and it's something cool as well, right? So all of this is for just to share with you guys how a job seeking process is before you nail the interview, right? You need to first get accepted, and that's the journey that you guys need to take. And it's very important to know that. All right. So let's get into our topic for today. Give me a moment here. I'm just bringing it up.
Meanwhile, while Nishan gets that set up, why we're doing this is because just to reiterate that how important it
There's
is
nothing else to talk about.
no,
He's telling all the
that's
truth, lah.
how important it is to apply for a job, because when you're out there, the company doesn't know who you are and you don't know who the company is. So the only chance that the company, before they could hire you, to judge you or to evaluate you, is only through your resume, your how do you do the interview. So that's the only one chance you get, and then eventually then the company will get to know about you much more. So that one chance you get, please ensure you don't just give your half-heartedly, but give it your best. All right. Yeah.
So this cartoon character is Naveen here. One important key to success is self-confidence, and an important key to self-confidence is preparation, by Arthur Ashe. So we'll move. So first question for you boys: do we need to prepare for an interview? Yes or no? Or go in mind tembak?
I'll go first.
Adam is lost, or he's like, should I answer this? Should I not answer this?
No, I'm waiting for your answer. Lah.
Oh,
I'm asking you, lah.
Naveen,
Hey,
go
Adam,
first.
I go first. I feel you should really prepare for yourself. the mind tembak one, the last minute preparation for an interview may work for some jobs, but the ones that are in management level or anything beyond that, if you're going to tembak, kena tembak balik. So I say it's a yes lah, whether regardless of whether it's a management job or not, you have to prepare for an interview. Adam?
So,
It's
Adam.
it's a ridiculous question if you ask me.
No,
You obviously have to prepare. You prepare for everything. What?
from a different perspective, because you have interviewed quite a number of people, right? So as the interviewer, you would have seen a lot of people walking through the doors. And have you come across with an interviewee who is not prepared?
Of course, all the time.
What's your reaction for that? Like, what?
I ask
what?
to leave.
Oh, damn.
I've asked people to leave the interview room, even after 10 minutes of the interview, because I first of all, I don't believe I want to waste their time, because obviously they're not a fit. From the get-go, they're not a fit. So they don't know what's the company about. They didn't even take the initiative to even look at the website. So for me, this is all personal experience. That for me, that's a no-no. And
Right.
I'm very old school when it comes to going prepared. You have to come dressed for the cause. So if you're wearing a jeans and a flip-flop, I will ask the person to leave. And I have done it many times. And those people, not all of them, out of 10, maybe 3 have said thank you for realization, realization moment for them. When I told them that this is not the way you do an interview or conduct an interview or attend an interview, it's absolutely wrong. Because you are here, and like what Naveen said, you got about 40 to 45 minutes to impress the two or three people across the table from you that the job should be yours. So that if the job means anything to you and that the income you're going to make from it means anything to you, you would be serious and come prepared and dress for the cause. And I know the millennials don't agree with me, or the Gen Z don't agree with me. I am a millennial. So Gen Zs probably think that, I go with my t-shirt and my cap and, and my flip-flops or my Adidas sports shoe and I'll get the job. Yeah, cool. That's what you feel. But for me, it's a no. You go with your shirt, you go with your coat if you can, wear a tie, you wear that lucky pants or lucky shoes that you have, and you go in there with 100% commitment. And for me, like if a employer were to say, "Hey Adam, can we interview you tomorrow?" my answer will be no. I will not agree to anything more than lesser than 48 hours before the interview date. Never, because I want to prepare. Because I want a good shot, and I want the shot to be the best shot. I'm not going to go in half cooked and just give them information that I probably found on the website. I want to go in depth. I will conduct a survey, look at the industry, come up with numbers, go in there that I want to get the job. And not bragging, but right now my ratio is 1-to-1. One interview, I get hired. I don't have a 1-to-2 or 1-to-3. It's very hard for me to fail at interviews. The reason is because I spend a lot of time doing and go in the best I can. And I always wear my lucky shirt.
Interesting. Now with the whole interviews happening virtually, so I think the top half only need to be worried about what you're wearing lah. I think the bottom half.
I still wear slacks because you want to have the feeling. Wearing shorts, like for me, it's like, I don't know lah. I may be old school, but also to that point, Nishan, I think the very important thing in preparation for now, this whole online thing is your resume needs to be tip top. Yeah. And your resume needs to be very coherent towards the industry that you're applying for. And you have to talk about how the work from home is and, your experience that if you have any. So, like talking about self-discipline and all that stuff, it all has to be on the resume. Your resume cannot be just, one pager. I know a lot of people say resume should be 1 page or CV should be a page or 2 pages, the maximum. But look at it now, thousands of people are applying for jobs. So you need to stand out. So your standout is your resume. So you need to make sure your resume is, it may not have to be colorful, but it should carry something special that you will be able to bring to the table, like your previous projects. What have you done? Why are you different from the rest? A quote from you. Those kind of things are, I think, very, very, very important right now.
Yeah. True.
Right. So that's our next topic. What's the first step? Prepare an amazing resume. Like what you said, Adam. During this point of time, it's people are just rushing to find jobs. Everybody, I'm sure the companies also are pretty busy in terms of trying to like screen through, and they see a lot. I think a number of resumes on a daily basis, right? And I think your resume is really really important, and I think we really concentrate on how a resume should look like. And if you guys want to know about resume writing and how to prepare for an interview, we've got programs for that as well. Do check out our Facebook or Instagram page, and we can have either a short workshop for you guys out there. Now, in terms of resume, I've always had this dilemma, right? I've always been put through this between the 1-2 pages and the 3 to 4 pages of telling about yourself, because I feel that I don't have the time. In the short frame of time, they need to know a lot about me. So how do I write like a essay, like a short story to them, or how does that what's the best format that you would use? Because I've always been in that dilemma between okay, 1 page is good enough, or 3 pages, because I've been rejected saying that hey, you need to redo your resume. It's like 3 or 4 pages. It's no one has the time to read it. So what's your take on that, Adam or Naveen?
And Naveen, go ahead.
Adam, go first lah.
We're going to play ping pong now. Isn't 8 o'clock Malaysian Olympic, the badminton team playing, right? 8 o'clock.
I believe so.
I think. Anyway, so 5-pager, 10-pager, 20-pager, your resume doesn't really matter. The first page is the most important page. That's all. So if your first page is fascinating, it is something that is able to attract. So your first page should be just your preview, a snapshot of yourself. What have you done, all in points, the areas that you have worked, if you have done savings or completed savings for your organization, the savings you have completed in dollars or ringgit, and then like a short preview, like if you have like a motto, or if you have something that motivates you, you just put that. The first page should always be that, with your photo, of course. Photo is very important. I know we didn't live in a time where you shouldn't judge, but photo is very important. I think people will be able to really relate to the person when they see a photo, as compared to words and letters and stuff. So once you have the first page done, and the second page or third page, I wouldn't go more than 3 pages, because that's already like, it's like your MBA essay or whatever. So that's just ridiculous. You want to just stick to anything less than 3 pages or 4 pages, unless you have like a lot of stuff you want to talk. And it depends on the role you're applying for, If you're applying for a very senior role, maybe, I don't know, you can write a 20-page resume or what, I don't know, I guess. But yeah, the idea is to have a preview to catch your reader's attention, and then have the rest of it, like the other stuff in there. Because I think it's changed, like I said earlier, I think it's changed from previously, where a hirer or recruiter, or you call them the recruitment agent, or what do you call them, HRBP or whatever. So if they are the recruitment team, now, last time, right, they will know that they'll be able to meet you face to face. So they know they can gauge your psyche and see what kind of person you are roughly lah. They will know what is your characteristics, your body language, and all that stuff. But now they don't have the ability to do that. It's going to be all online, It's all going to be on a virtual call. So people will be a little bit more picky when it comes to the vetting of the interviews, because they want to be, the vetting of the resumes, because they really want to be sure that, this is the person. You might think that resume now is not important, because they can do 10,000 interviews in a day. It's all online. Very less time spent. You only spend like 40 minutes, but 40 minutes in an operations team is a lot of money being wasted. So we are also trying to not interview people. We also don't want to interview people. We want to reduce that as much as we can. So that's why, hence, I believe that right now during the pandemic, when everything is happening online, there is more focus on your resume as compared to the interview itself. The interview
Right.
itself will be just more like an icebreaker session. It will be just about talking a little bit here and there. Usually when you go for a face-to-face interview, they'll say, "What? Please tell me something that's not on the resume." Come on, lah. You can't do that on a virtual call because you can't tell anything that's not. Okay, there's no that you don't have that interpersonal, that meeting kind of feeling. It's all online.
Yeah.
So your resume needs to be top notch. I've seen some organizations on Facebook. They are advertising one resume 200 ringgit. That's ridiculous. Don't spend that much. There are a lot of free courses online. We can do a workshop also if you want. A very quick workshop on how to do it. I think one of our trainers is one who was featured in the past. Also has a lot of experience on resume writing. So don't be ridiculous, guys. Don't spend too much money. You can ask friends, ask us. We will help you. But resume tip top.
Right. I think now also the most common one is apart from the resume is we have come across creating video cover. Right. Talk
That's the
about
new thing
yourself
now.
under a minute. Trust me, we have tried that and it is super super difficult. But if you're able to nail that, do one thing even before you try. Preparing yourself for a meeting that interviewer, right? Just take your phone or take your webcam, sit at the front of it, and talk about yourself for a minute, and let us know how many times that you have gone for a take, because you won't be able to. First of all, you won't be able to talk about yourself under a minute that long, that much. It's like everything is like all compressed. But once you get that formula right, within that 1 minute, you're able to talk about yourself. This is called an elevator pitch, right, Adam? Is that right?
Yeah. It's
Right.
absolutely important. You must have an elevator pitch.
So I think if you have that, I think you would be sort of ahead of a lot of them when you attend your virtual interviews with your future employers. So that's something that we have also been interestingly hearing about, video cover, sort of fancy stuff, because I think they want to get to know you, right? And these are the different ways that they are able to now gauge. Everything is digital. You can't run away from it. And be more prepared. And like Adam said, reach out to us if you need any assistance in those areas. We are more than happy to help out.
Yeah, but to have some experience on what's that, the video cover, you all can start with TikTok first lah. Record some TikTok videos. This just because that's fun, so you at least get to have the hang of the camera and how you move your head or how you pronounce some dialogues. So once you've already got comfortable to it, then you can move on and record your own video, and you can just have a quick elevator pitch about yourself, what you're good at doing, and what maybe there's some quote from yourself. Yeah, that's it. Because I just want to see how creative you are, how you're adapting yourself to the new norm. Like the new norm is before all used to go to office interview. Now send me 30 seconds of a video about yourself. So if you all sign up on Hiredly, that's where you'll encounter this, and you'll be able to record one and just have it standardized for all the interviews that you're applying for.
Another thing is I think this company called Mind Valley has been using this concept for a very long time. When I was in my junior role also, I heard about Mind Valley already having this video portal where you upload a 30-second video about yourself. So I think the key is doing a lot of studies online. Just watch online and see how people do their 30-second pitch or 1-minute pitch. Learn from other people, and then just be truthful on your resume and so. Don't put stuff that is not real, because at the end of the day, if you get a job, you want to be stress-free at the first 2 or 3 months. If you have something on your resume which is not true, and then you have to live up to an expectation that is not real, you will be super stressed. So only put things that you are comfortable with. Only put things that is real, and you have a edge on. For example, if you have taken a course on Agile Scrum, for example, online, but you've never used it, and you've never done it before, and you're not even confident in what you learn, don't put it on your resume. Because if you put it on your resume and the people on the interview ask you about it and you can't answer, they will assume that you are lying. You've not been truthful. So you already lose your chance. Interviewers want a truthful person who is a truthful applicant. So if you're truthful on your resume and everything goes smoothly, they will hire you. So yeah, don't stress it too much. There's a lot of jobs out there. I know, there's the what do you call that? Yeah, unemployment rate has really risen. It's actually dropped over the few months because there are more jobs coming up. Companies are expanding. But don't worry, there are jobs out there. Keep it going. Resume, kena check up.
Yeah,
And the gembox.
Yes.
you have to be confident in what you tell in your resume. And the next step is understand the role you have applied for. And I think touch base on what Adam mentioned earlier, right? Most of us at times, you want to sort of like get the attention of the employer. You put in things that you have never experienced, a very long time. You just have a brief idea about it and you put it there. So when you apply for your role, job description, you need to really understand what it requires, because it can be some job description that you would have applied for, like manager, for example, but from a manager from customer service company A can vary from manager of a customer service company B, right? It's not standardized. They have different variations, and you need to understand their job description. Adam or Naveen, you want to highlight a bit about this? Why is it important for job seekers to understand their role that they're applying for?
Yeah, definitely. Because the first most important thing is that when you are applying for a job, whether or not the company suits you, you need to think and for yourself: Do I suit the company? Can I fit in these bills? Can I fit in for the role? So you need to understand what it is. You don't want to apply for a job that you don't know what you're going for, right? Example: now someone is on HR, they're applying for IT job. Just because they have done some sort of basic IT, you can't go for IT tech support because you don't know what they're doing, right? So, and that's for those who are applying out of a sector. But if they're applying for their own sector, it's very important that you're applying for a role. You need to understand what is needed in the role. Do you fit most of it? At least 8 out of 10 lah. This is based on my experience. Okay, at least 8 out of 10 you should fit for the role out of the job description. And based on the job description only, you will know to yourself that whether you can do it. And once you know that you can do it, that's when you can do the interview also well. Otherwise, based on what you'll be answering questions, right? Because you would have had a different experience in a different company, and while you're moving on to a different company, and it's altogether a new job. So I believe it's very important that you understand the role that you're applying for, whether you fit in the role first out for the company. So that's my take. How about yourself, Adam?
I think you got to be honest again. So it's all about being honest. If you don't understand the role, you just got to ask them, like, I don't understand. What do you do? I've never been in this industry before. Ask them questions like, how is it done in your end? Sometimes an interviewer, and most of the times the interviews, they just really want to know how are you going to fit in. If you are a person who asks questions, you are a person who wants to learn. So even though you may not fit the role or you may not know have the required skills, they might still hire you because you have asked pertinent questions. So it's all about being honest to the interviewer, not always going there and singing a song that you are Manchester United. I'm sorry, maybe okay, you are the world champion. Okay, you are the world champion or something like that. But you've not reached those heights yet. You don't really want to go in and sing a massive accolade of yourself when actually you're just regular. Just be yourself. Just be yourself and just understand. If you already have experience in the role, then you can talk about the role. But always ask questions. Like how is it done here? How do you work here? What is the work culture like? What is the expectation for the person hired in my role? Ask these questions, and then it just kind of switches things around. the pressure now, or the focus now is not really on you already. The focus now go back onto the interviewer. So you really want to play that reverse psychology where now they will be answering the questions. They are the ones in the interview, no longer you. So it's I think it's very important, to be honest.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree to what Adam says as well. But I think don't you think, Adam, like most of them, they sometimes afraid because they are the ones seeking out for the job, right? And yeah, there is the some alpha characters that they are prepared, confident, they go in, and then they just go pop 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 pop. But there is another group of people where they feel that they shouldn't overshadow, they shouldn't be over, not overconfident, I would say. They're always very careful with what they have to say. They, it's about confidence is one, but they don't want the employer to think, oh, this guy is this person is a cocky person. They just talking about themselves. And how do you handle that kind of situation? Like, how do
Yeah.
you sort of
You don't waste your time with those things with people like that who are cocky and just showboating. It's just a waste of time speaking to people like that. You can be showboater, but you have to give the proof. You have to give the numbers. You have to give the experience that you have had doing that, and then it's no longer showboating. It's a learning moment for the interviewer also, because we get to learn about how this person managed that change or managed that cost reduction, that project or whatever. Not so you can go in and talk highly about yourself, but you must show the numbers. Talk about the numbers. Don't be scared to just take a piece of paper, write it down, and then show it on the screen and say, okay, this is what I've done. This is the process. Draw the process. This is the process I've done. I've done that in interviews. So if you do that, it's no longer showboating. It's really you talking about the experience that you have and what you can bring to the table. Yeah. So I think showboaters will be found out within like 5 or 6 minutes into the interview. They will come and say that, oh, I have a Lean Six Sigma black belt. I'm currently pursuing my MBA. I've done 5 degrees. Okay, great. Academically, you're great, but okay, tell me what you've done in your last role. What is your this cost that you've saved. So for those things, I have actually the project team, we have done. It becomes very slow. Initially, the pitch is very high, then it becomes very slurred and slow. Then already that it's just academic. It's not really the experience. A lot of people just want experience nowadays. SPM holders are doing extremely well in their careers. I know many people who just have SPM who are in really high positions at the moment right now. I mean, of course, right now they already have their MBA, whatever they have studied along the way. But for them to be pushed up into that level, they were just SPM holders. Some of them just diploma holders, degree holders, but they're in senior management roles and they're pretty young. And young, I mean, even younger than me. So, yeah, I think it's not about academic qualification anymore. It's really about experience and what you bring to the table and how you can really talk during the interview, and again, being honest on the interview.
like you keep repeating, be honest. I think that's one of the major
Quote of the
key
day.
takeaways. Be
No,
honest.
because you can spot a cocker right away. They walk into the room only, you can straight away spot it. Okay, like okay,
This fellow today.
not by their body language or their attire. No, once they sit down and you say, tell me about yourself. What's on the resume? Or tell me about yourself. And the next question you already know already, whether it's is this person is just in there to talk about himself, or he or she has a lot of experience. So yeah,
Right.
honestly, the best policy.
Interesting. So that leads up to the next step of the interview is prepare and study about the role. I think it's really important. Though you may have that experience, you want to do the showboating. I think you need to study real well about the organization, about what their goals are. Ask those questions during the interview. Like, generally you will get these questions like, what is your 5-year plan? Where you want to see yourself in the next few years? Ask that question back again to the organization or to the person who's interviewing you, so that they make it more of a conversation, right? Because once you're more prepared, once you're more confident, I don't think so as an interview kind of concept anymore. It will be more of a conversation. Correct me if I'm wrong, Adam or Naveen. You guys would
Yeah.
have had that experience in the past, right? So, which is more, how do you say, a more relaxing environment? And it's question and answers, just question and answers, or more of a holistic process of interview?
I believe the holistic part of it is it's definitely good because um, if you're applying for a company, I know like during the bad times, like when you're on job street, you just shoot off to 10 companies and not sure which company is going to come back to you. And but then if you are applying for like a one or two companies and you're really looking towards that job, you really want that job, it's important that you study about the role, study about the company, because you have to get to know what the company is doing, what kind of business sector they are in, how's like I would just go see what's their vision, mission, then I would go see who's their CEO, then what's their market price for share market, how they're doing, what are the new companies that they expanded. Because if you get to know about this, you yourself will feel confident. Okay, this company is big, it's growing. I can fit, and I can see a few years of my future bright in this particular place. Or eventually just get to know about what the company culture is, style is, what they're looking at. So it is very important that you all study all that and then study about the role itself. So when you're prepared, all prepared, it just on the back of your mind, it builds your confidence. And when you go ahead for the interview, you feel comfortable, like you're just talking to another peer. So the peer will just ask you, like, hey, okay, what do you think about this? And when you have the vision, mission, or even you have like what's the CEO's take for the future of the company, you'll be able to answer those kind of stuff related to that. Because once they know that you're speaking in relation to those VMBs or the CEO's vision, automatically they will feel like, hey, this guy, or he feels the same like us, or she is like almost thinking the same like us. And eventually you'll have proper conversations. And it's important that you prepare and you study well for the role. If you really want that job, you should really do it.
Yeah, I think another thing you can do is when you're called for an interview, always ensure you know who the interviewer is, find out their name, and then go on LinkedIn and then read up about them. You can catch them in the act there. When you walk in and say, "Oh, I know that you're a green belt in Lean Six Sigma. Or I know that you studied in Loyola University, for example. My auntie went there." You can say that, for example, and that is actually a really big icebreaker. Knowing your interviewer, understanding your interviewer. But if you don't have the benefit of doing that, it's okay, it's fine. But that is just a plus point. But I just want to bring up one point here. External interviews are okay. The internal interviews are the most painful thing in your whole life. I'm sure the three of us can agree with that. We have all moved up in our careers in every organization that we have worked for. It's ridiculous. It's I want to use a lot of bad words, but I don't want to use it because my
They'll
children.
ban us.
My children are watching also. So yeah, I think it's ridiculous how companies in Malaysia, particularly, how they do internal hiring. Internal hiring is in Malaysia. It's worse than going. It's probably worse than what Najib is going through for the 1MDB case. It's horrible.
Yeah.
They make you feel like you are applying for a job that is worth $50 million a month. You go through heaven and earth and hell and all that stuff, and you get a 500 to 600 ringgit increment internally. So, to all those employers out there, for an internal hiring, I think there is a better way for you to gauge if they are suitable for the job or not. First of all, if you're putting them through so many interview rounds, 1, 2, 3 rounds, when they are already an employee who's been there for more than 2 years, that shows that you have failed as an employer to gauge your employees' capabilities. That's a failure. So, if you are an employer out there and you have done this to your employees, where you put them through round 1 with the supervisor, round 2 with the manager, round 3 with the senior manager, round 4 with the vice president. Come on, for 1,000 ringgit increment, you put them through so much when they are already a person who's been serving the company for 5 years. So how do you prepare for an interview, which is an internal interview? You already know the BMWs. You already know about the whole company. You know about the politics, you know about the positives, you know about everything about the company. So how do you prepare for an internal interview? So now let's switch the game now. Nishan, you answer that question.
Oh, damn. Uh, I so again, I've been out of the whole corporate structure for a number of years, but my previous
It's only been
experiences,
2 years now, Nishan. It's only been 2 years.
it's been quite long. Lah. There's a lot of
Couple of
changes.
years it seems.
Yeah,
Yeah.
a couple of years too, lah. Uh, I've been put through that kind of situation. Because when I was level one and I understood that, I want to make a career out of this. I want to push myself. I've been put through rounds and rounds and rounds of interviews, and the worst part is you don't know why you didn't get selected, and that's the most hurting part. It's not that you get rejected. I think that's fine. There are a lot of competition. It's okay, but most of the companies, they don't actually give you the reason that, hey, this is where you slack, and they don't sort of put you into a career development plan. Try to mold. God, they put you into a CDP, or into a plan, but you don't know what's the outcome, and you don't know because CDP sometimes can be very specific for that particular role, and when you want to go to another company out there, it doesn't fit or it doesn't match. So there's a lot of pressure. I think it's easier to apply for a newer company rather than retaining yourself, and that's where the attrition rate goes skyrocket, because internal is I don't know what word to use. It's crazy at times because
Yeah,
I've
it becomes super awkward because you already been working there 5 years. You apply for a role with just one rank above you. Your boss rejects you and takes somebody who's more junior than you. So now the next time you have a one-to-one with your boss, all the things that you're thinking in your mind, the knife, the gun, I can't wait to shoot this guy. So all those things will be in your head, like why didn't I get the job? Why did you choose the other person over me? Immediately now in the boss's eyes, I'm a flight risk because
correct.
I might leave the company. They'll be like, okay, Adam didn't get the job, so he is now a flight risk. So there's a lot of
Yeah,
awkwardness. And I be honest with you, most international companies, this doesn't happen. Like if you're working in an American company in America, not in Malaysia lah. It's not like that. It's very clear cut. At a certain point of time, there will be a few competitors for a single role. So they will just throw out a challenge. There's 3 people. Whoever is able to meet this challenge will be getting the role. There is no like 5 rung interview, 6 rung interview. You know how stressful it is for an employee. It's extremely stressful
yeah.
because you don't know what to prepare already. You are an employee there for 5 years or 6 years or 10 years. What do you prepare? You're going to go in there and see the same people that you see week in, week out. So how do you prepare for an interview like that?
I don't
That's
I don't think
Usala.
don't think so. There's an answer for that. You see, like for me as an example, I was bold enough to say, you know what, thank you for the opportunity, and I found another opportunity outside. I quit the job, and I was jobless for a while, and then I got another job. So that is maybe because I was willing to do that. But the ones that I'm really sort of, I would use the word pity, is they've been in that role, they've applied for all sorts of promotion, never get it, and then two things happen. Either they feel that they actually don't fit the role, they are not good enough, they demotivate themselves, and they are stuck in that role for years. They feel that that's the only thing that they are suitable for, and they don't move out is because fearing that another two things: they can't meet the salary package out there, and the other is the age difference out there. There's a number of people in this whole interview part we're talking about, is those 35s, 40, touching 40, when they want to move.
Nine
They have
fifty,
that fear.
late 40s, late
Late
40s.
40s. Late 40s. No, I'm saying they're afraid to move to another organization, fearing that age is a factor, salary is a factor, probably
Job
they're not good
security.
enough, job security, all of those play in their head, and partly is because of this whole internal promotion thing that keeps happening. So it's in Malaysia is still, it's still there lah. It's something that I think as an employee, I think you need to be bold enough, write in a probably a case report, or have a meet with get a consultation or something of that sort, and then put it across to the employer or your boss and say, hey, this is not working out, right? And I think we covered this whole tough conversation part in our first few Sembang topics.
How to
So
talk to your boss.
yeah, and I don't think so there's a concrete answer to it right now, but I think the points that we mentioned, be honest, be confident, get your facts right. If you've been working in an organization for 2 or 3 plus years, you should know your stats, your results, and I think they can speak louder. After that, also, you don't get promoted or you don't get hired. Uh, that is, then I would confidently say that's at the fault of the employer, lah. They have to relook into their structure.
Yeah, I think it's a fail mechanism. I'll be very honest with you because I always said on the other side of the table, interviewing people for internal interviews. For me, when something doesn't make sense at the start, I will already know. I already feel like it's a no-brainer. So I just dislike sitting in internal interviews because it doesn't really make sense to me. The person should be on a CDP and should be already put into the role if they're already sitting at the desk right now,
Right.
for the interview. So yeah, I'm not a big believer of internal interviews, but I'm not sure how is it like working in a large organization. It might be different. But there's one thing I want to add. I'm not sure if we are at the tail end of the slideshow. Are we? This is the last slide?
Yep.
Yeah, we had the tail end already.
Okay, so just want to add one thing is that whenever the interviewer asks you at the end of the interview, do you have any questions? Don't say, I don't have no questions and nothing. I'm really looking forward to working for you. Yeah, don't be humble. Don't be humble. Don't. I mean, that is actually that is your chance to sell yourself. When they ask you if you have any questions, that is the closing. The climax of the interview. You need to be able to nail it there. You need to ask the right questions. So ask questions. Ask them how can you fit in the role, and ask them how many people they have interviewed for the same position you have applied previously, and why haven't they found someone yet? Why haven't they interviewed another? Why haven't they hired any of the people who came for the interview? Find out. If they ask you why are you asking them, you just tell them that whatever skill that's missing there, I want to get that so I can fit into your company. Bro, bro or whoever you are, sis, bro, auntie, uncle, you are hired. Confirm you're hired. The interviewer will say this is the guy for the job. Because that question shows that you will put initiative in yourself, you will put initiative in your job, and you will put initiative for the company also. So these three things can be sealed with that one question.
Yep, and that's how you nail the interview.
Yep.
Right. I think to sort of like wrap it up, right? With all the points that we have spoken, from the time you start looking out for a job, how your resume should look like, how you should prepare yourself, the conversations with the employers should be, all of that coupled up with what Adam said at the end is, don't be afraid to ask those questions. Though they are paying you, because there's a lot of people with this notion that, because they're paying me, I need to listen to them, I need to follow whatever they say. But no, in return, you are giving them your time, your skill sets, and you are fulfilling that particular role that they are requiring. So they need you as much as you need them as well. So be confident. Don't feel that you lack in anywhere. Of course, you completely go and apply for a role that you don't know anything about, then you're asking for it. But when you apply for a role that you are really interested in, and you know that, yes, I got it, even if you don't get the job, you would feel, you know what, I did well in that interview. I know I gave my best, right? You always have that feeling right after you given an interview that, yeah, I have done or I have not done it. And part one shared something. How about applying for internship in order to prove to them that you can deliver? I think you can go for internship not just to fulfill your course credit requirement, but also a testing ground. In the States, many tend to do this. Part one to United States lah. Part one.
Malaysia tak boleh ya.
No, I think in Malaysia you can do that also. It's fine. You can find jobs that are internships, but me with all this white hair, I can't walk into a company and say I want to be your intern now. Ridiculous. But okay, another thing that I just want to add is that it's very important for you to do a follow up after your interview. Don't be annoying. Don't keep on asking the hirer like, okay, is there any update? Is there any update? Is there any update? Don't do that. You know, you have to first of all, at the end of the interview, you ask them, when will I get a response about the job? When will I know if I'm hired or not? So you must already set the expectation. They will set the expectations. Then you follow up a day after if they don't. For example, they say 28th of July, I'm going to follow up with you. The 29th of July, you reach out to them and ask them, like, I gave you an extra day. I haven't heard of it from you, but I'd like to know if, we are moving forward with me being hired or not, right? If they say no, find out why. Ask them, what were the gaps I had, because companies, they tend to keep your resume for a while at least. So you never know that they might, that person who just got hired, don't sever your relationship and say, you're lousy company, so you never hire me and all that. Don't do that. Because there is an opportunity or possibility the person who actually gets hired doesn't turn up to work. And who will they call if you left a good impression? The person who was right number 2. So that's you. So don't make rash decisions to give them a piece of your mind, or send them some funny emojis and all. I know a few people have sent me emojis like that. So don't do that. You don't know your luck. You might actually get the job. So keep these things in mind. And if the job, I'm sorry, I know we are over the time already, Nishan, but
It's absolutely fine.
another thing is that nowadays you can't be so picky with your jobs. You might be a manager now, but you might be applying for a customer service job. It's fine. It's okay. So I'm not asking you to lie on your resume, but what I'm saying is trying to make your resume to fit the job that you're applying for. Make it suitable if you really want the job, So you can put, like, for example, you Google about customer experience specialists. What are their roles? What do they do in Malaysia or in the US or whatever lah? And then you look for the things that you have done in your current job or the previous job that you had, and you put that on your resume. You find the relationship, of course. Don't just copy paste lah. It doesn't work like that. Try to find it and make your resume suitable for the job that you are applying for. Because if it doesn't make sense to the hirer or the person who's looking through the resume, they're not going to call you. It's like, this guy is a senior manager. Why would he want to work as a customer service agent? People know the times are hard, but in their mind, what's the first thing they think is flight risk. You're going to leave. You will definitely resign after 3 months or 6 months, or when the pandemic is over, you will definitely leave. So you need to be able to show them what is your plan. Like, right now, I need to get a job. Once you can get into the interview, right, 70%, 80% of the work is done. You just need to convince them now that you are a person that you can work with, and they can work with you. Yeah. So I'm done.
Interesting.
I'm very concerned about this hiring thing, this interview thing, and all that stuff. I'm not saying that I'm good at it, but I feel that there is a how do you say, a formula lah. There's a formula if you want to succeed. So the best way is humility also. You must be very, this is a very Asian culture. I want to talk about this earlier and then I forgot. Goreng, don't goreng. Don't goreng. Don't do that. Don't do that. If you don't know the answer, tell them you don't know the answer. I'm not sure. Could you enlighten me on that? This is how you do the verbal jujitsu, You push it back to them. Don't say, oh, this one, I know. Then you goreng something. Don't. Because that will be a disaster. Straight away, the person will just turn off. They will shut everything off, and whatever you say after that will be just swing, flying over their head. It doesn't make sense. So
because they already caught you off guard already.
Malaysian culture, we go in there, we goreng only. So don't goreng. It's mama shop lah, all the goreng. So that's it from me, Nishan. I think I'm done.
Thanks so much for sharing your experience, Adam. So I think for those of you all seeking out for either a promotion or a job, or internal hiring and whatever not, I think these are the few things that you need to keep yourself prepared before you even think about applying anything. And the opportunity is equally served for everybody. Forget about the guys who put either race, culture, whatever in their requirement. Don't even look at applying for those kind of jobs. There are a lot more of other opportunities, and prepare yourself completely from the. Why are you looking at that way, Adam?
No, why did Navin's photo show your face?
Yeah, I sort of changed the logo on the. Yeah, there was some mistake there.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
What on earth lah?
Audience guys, we are live, we are live. Jangan lupa ya.
Ah.
So, prepare yourselves, and you guys have any sort of questions. We are available on our Facebook page and on Instagram, and our numbers are also there. Reach out to us. Go onto our website, and if you have a group of friends, you want to conduct a workshop on how to prepare like a resume or how to attend an interview, do hook us up, and we will prepare a workshop for you guys, whether it's public or private. It's all dependent on you guys, and be confident, guys. Don't be afraid. Everybody is here equally. Everybody is in for the race, and everyone will have the opportunity to win it. And if you want to know, like how Adam said, there is a formula, and the formula works close to about 90% of the time when you apply. Like Adam was always a 1-to-1, and we are all trying to be that. Like you attend one interview, you get the job, and that's how much of because we have seen how much Adam has put in work in the past, and I believe that that formula can work for you guys out there as well. So before we end our session for tonight, there's something interesting that I wanted to show you guys. There's an workshop that's upcoming in August. Dates are yet to be confirmed, tentatively on the 26th and 27th of August. 10x Crew is bringing you Building Business Resilience Through the Pandemic Virtual Workshop. And we've got amazing speakers lined up for this event, and more information will be coming to you guys within the week. So do check out our Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, and WhatsApp for this particular workshop. Those of y'all who might already be interested, please hook us up, and we would be more than happy to talk about it or to share more details about it. All right. So currently we are working on the marketing collaterals and stuff like that. So uh, we will bring it out soon to you guys. So if you guys don't have any other questions, thank you all so much for tonight. Thank you, Adam. Thank you, Naveen, and thank you, a wonderful audience who have been always constantly and consistently supporting us throughout this whole 9 weeks. We really, really thank you, and we are hoping by end of this year we can reach at least 1,000 subscribers or 1,000 followers on our Facebook and Instagram page. So please share and promote us. If you really like us, please do that, and hit the like button, keep the cunning, and hit the comment section. And having said that, this is good night from 10x 10x for life. This is Sembang with 10x. Nishan signing off. Adam, Naveen.
Myself.
Love you all.
Bye.
See you
Bye-bye.
guys.
Bye, guys. Good night.